Hey home bakers, it's Jack here at bakewithjack.co.uk, bringing you your weekly bread making tip every single Thursday. And today I want to talk about double in size. Leave your dough till it's double in size or triple in size. What does that even mean? I don't know what it means. Let's get cracking. Hey you guys, welcome back. Now in a lot of recipe books you'll read stuff like leave the dough on the side till it's double in size. And I find that firstly very tricky to determine what double in size actually is, because your dough is a ball. It is a ball of dough, and what's double a ball? Is it this ball plus this double ball? Is it that ball, or is it double volume ball, or is it double the height of the ball? Who knows? And actually, who cares? Because it's not actually very relevant at all, especially for the beginner home baker. So this, for me, in my opinion, is another very confusing term in a book, leave it till it's double in size. I can't figure out what that is, but it doesn't really matter. It's not about the puff, it's about the tension. Now, when you first leave your dough in a bowl for an hour or 90 minutes until it's double in size, what you're actually in effect doing is giving the dough time. That's your priority. Size doesn't really matter. It's about time. As long as something is happening and it's puffing up, don't stress about how much it is puffed up, or if it actually is double or looks like double or is exactly the same as what double is in the guy's head who wrote the book in the first place. Time makes flavour and wicked texture in the bread. That's all. The amount that is puffed up is just an indication for you, which is quite helpful, of what might happen the next time around, provided you keep your dough at the same environment, in the same temperature. If you leave your dough for an hour to develop nice flavour and texture in the first bulk ferment stage as a whole, then if it puffs up really loads, you know you need to keep your eye on it the second time around before it goes into the oven, because you know it might be a warm day and it's coming up really nice and your yeast is super excited. All these things are going to happen and your dough's puffing up super fast. Keep your eyes peeled. On the flip side, if you leave your dough for the same amount of time and not a lot has happened, or something has happened but not a lot, you know you can rest it for longer if you want to without fear of it collapsing. And you know that the second time, when you shape it up and it's ready to go into the oven, you can expect it to take a little bit longer, and therefore you can plan out what else you need to do in the day in that gap while your dough is resting. So forget about the size, the double in size, the triple in size. Things like brioche get massive, expect it. Things like a wholemeal loaf won't get as big, but still when it's ready, you're just going by the tension. The feeling that you feel under your fingers when you press it, and the practice, the amount of times you practice that and familiarise yourself with that feeling. And unfortunately, as much as I do on here to try and educate your minds, I can't transfer the feeling over. This is why I host courses and meet people in person and bake together and host demonstrations and this sort of thing, because that's the way you get the feeling. With practice, one-to-one, feeling stuff together, that sounds dodgy, but you know what I mean. I think the point I'm trying to get across is that don't get stressed out by the term double in size or triple in size, because whatever you think that might look like in your mind, and whatever you think it might look like in the mind of the person who's written the recipe, there could potentially be a massive difference between those two things, which feels like it might stitch you up and trip you up along the way. However, in reality, it's the best feeling in the world, because it just proves that it doesn't really matter. Don't go by size, go by what the dough feels like, and trust your instincts and practice. Feel it, remember it, bake it. Feel it, remember it, bake it, eat it. That's the main bit. That's it. I hope this video of my ramblings has helped you out in a roundabout way. Thank you so much for being here each week and listening to me talk about bread. Really appreciate it. Please click the like button if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already, because we do this every week. And I look forward to seeing you next Thursday for another one. What the hey, let's do it. Let's go for it. Bye-bye.